All right, man. Peace. Modern Gospel back again on another video. Like, share, and subscribe. On this topic is gonna be why I don't fucking trust the LGBT community or fucking gay people in general. And on this topic, some of y'all may get mad at me, but this is some shit I experienced, and I was like, damn, like, gay men really are they really like this? Because I have a cousin who's gay and all that shit, right? And I've seen how he is, but I've never seen how they are on the next level. Like, LGBTQ gay white men are on a whole nother level when it comes to this shit. And I'm gonna tell you as to why, like, don't trust them, or like it's hard for me to trust them. I'm not trying to bash, I'm not trying to say none of that shit, but these people are fucking predator. You know what I'm saying? Are there some nice ones? Sure, yes. But how they think is it's like they hide that shit. And I'm gonna tell you the story as to why. Okay, so I'm telling you, man, this shit, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, they were very bold and they don't give a fuck about how they conduct themselves, their behavior and all that nonsense. So I went to, cause my aunt was having a barbecue, you know? And this barbecue she was having, it was her friend, who are like these two, neighbor friend, who are these two, gay white dudes. You know what I'm saying? And we went there. I'm like, I gotta work, I head over there, every single thing was nice, my dad was there and all that shit. And this is the thing about being, I'm good looking, I'm young and all that shit. And for some odd reason, I'm a straight dude, but gay dudes doesn't give a fuck if you're a straight dude or not. They will still hit on you. Especially if you got a baby face and all that shit, And for some reason, gay dudes are really attracted to like young dude. And I'm a young dude, And I went to this barbecue, right? You being nice and all that shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm being nice, eating up ribs and all that shit. I'm greeting these motherfuckers and I'm like, oh, hey, don't, nothing like that. So, after eating, my stomach is hurting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My stomach is hurting a little bit. So I'm like, hey, man, I was talking to this gay guy, man, because I was kind of curious. First of all, I was like, because we're having a conversation. I'm like, man, well, what's that tattoos on your... What does it mean? It's just a random to have a goldfish in your hand. It doesn't. It's like, oh, my goldfish died. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck get a tattoo of a goldfish that passed away? This motherfucker had like a special relationship with a goldfish, But his boyfriend was a very serious, angry dude or some shit like that. So he's not look like a dude. He looks like he's the man in a relationship, but he's very, very jealous person. So me and this dude having a conversation, I can see a little bit of jealousy on his face. I'm like, I'm straight, but but when he see me and this dude just having a conversation, I don't know what was happening. So I'm like, hey man, do you mind if I use the restroom? He's like, yeah, restroom, blah blah blah. I went in the restroom, looks clean as hell, look nice. I took a dump, Took a dump and every single thing, and what was crazy was, has anybody taken a shit and realized there was no toilet paper? That was me. But when you shitting in somebody's bathroom and there's no toilet paper, like, nigga, it is what it is. You gotta improvise in that shit. I was kind of a little bit stuck in that shit. I'm like, damn, I don't want to. You don't want to let people know you're shitting in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? I hate going to people's crib and taking a shit. So there was no toilet paper. So first thing I did was look under the sink. These niggas had no toilet paper in the fucking bathroom. I look under the sink, no toilet paper. You want to know what I saw? Dildos. I saw a bunch of dildos and I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? So much dildos lying around. I'm like, damn, like I didn't even want to touch that. I'm trying to like push it on the side a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And find some toilet paper. And I'm like, fuck, I can't find it. So I'm thinking like, and I opened the shower. I don't know what made me open the shower curtain. Oh, I just saw a dildo sticking all on the fucking wall. True fucking story. And I'm shocked. I'm like, yo, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. But I gotta wipe my ass. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? By the way, this is the beginning of the story. The real shit, I'm gonna get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so many fucking dildos like all over the fucking place. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is there so many fucking dildos? You know, everybody out there eating and all that shit. To me, it felt like a setup too. That shit felt like a setup. But I didn't learn that shit until later on down the night. And so went up in the back. I'm like, I'm looking for like, what the fuck is going on? So I couldn't find nothing. It's like these motherfuckers took all the toilet paper out, threw it away, hide it, and then like, you know what I'm saying? So many deals. I'm like, fuck. So what ended up happening is, you know how there's the end of the strip on the toilet paper? I took that shit, you know, rip it up, you know, wet it a little bit and all that shit. And I know it sounds a little bit disgusting, but you know, desperate times calls for desperate measure. So, and I know a lot of you motherfuckers out there have done the same shit, so don't act like you better than me. But I had to use that little brown strip and all that shit. And I had to wet it up a little bit, you know. So, got myself blah, 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 cleaned up. I tried to flush it. Shit got stuck. I try to flush it, right? Shit got fucking stuck. So I'm sitting there like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Yo, but then again, there's shit all over the paper and shit stuck. I don't want the toilet to clog and all that shit. So it's like only one way going. Ain't no fucking, I tried using a plunger. Shit, I don't even think they had plunger because it would make more sense. Nah, they did not have no fucking plunger in that shit. So you know what I had to do? I had to grab some tissue, wrap it, try to pick it up and throw it in the trash a little quick and flush the toilet. Got up, boom, 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 hands all clean. You know what I'm saying? Got back out there. And I'm kind of like, I didn't even want to say nothing. I just walked right past these niggas and, you know, went and do my thing. So, I didn't make a big deal out of it. So we all turning up, you know, we drinking and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers like, hey, guess what? Me and my dad, my aunts and all that shit, they had family. So they're like, yo, we got a garage, you know, they had a garage. It's all set up like a party and all that shit. I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers got a whole garage in there. I mean, a whole party house in the garage and all that shit. So the thing about gay dudes is they don't respect heterosexual boundaries at all. You know, because they're gay, they'll just act out gay and they'll be like, you know what, maybe we should save this shit for the club. But motherfuckers acting all flamboyant and all that shit, being extra gay, dancing on poles, trying to dance with my dad and all that shit, trying to do all this shit. And we're like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? We looking at them like, my uncle came in later, we're looking like, yo, they funny as hell. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, you know, get on board with their bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So, these motherfuckers is drunk off their mind, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't too drunk, you know. The thing about it is, when I'm drunk, I'm very, very alert. And that's why I hate sometimes, because it stopped me from having the fun that I really want to have, that I used to have back in the days before I left the military. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't have that fun anymore. But So all of a sudden, these Mexican two couples, I don't know if they're Mexican or whatever it is, but they're somewhat looking like Latin couple or something like that. So all of a sudden, they're bringing out drugs and all that shit. You know, motherfuckers just out here handing us drugs and like, hey, take this shit, blah blah blah, handing it to my family. For me, I don't trust nobody who handed me fucking drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So he just saying like, oh, they're not even telling you what it is. Even this gay dude's just they handing you like edibles and all that shit. Do this, do this. So I whisper in all my family members, you know, I'm like, don't eat this shit. It ain't feel right to me. Don't eat this shit. Because you know, gay people, they love turning up on like, you know, psychedelic and all this edibles and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't eat that shit. They're like, oh, word, like, yeah. So they're all handing me this shit and I was just tossing. I was pretending like, they pretend like they idiot, so we tossing that shit, you know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers think we lit, you know what I'm saying? They're thinking we lit. So this is where this is the interesting part of the story. I was like, damn, gay people are so bold in how they conduct themselves to the point where it's like they don't understand why people are so repulsed to the behavior. You know what I'm saying? Because they're inconsiderate as fuck about how they conduct themselves around you. They just think you should accept them based on the fact that they're human. You know what I'm saying? So fuck your value, you know, abide by theirs and all that shit. So the guy who I was talking to, asking about his tattoos, right? He knows very damn well I'm not fucking gay. So you approach me thinking I'm fucking high as hell or whatever the hell they hand you. So basically, it was like kind of like a rapey vibe I was getting from this dude. Or like all this shit like he was handing me earlier here in the Mexican group, two couples. I was like, dang, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, dang, these Mexican folks too. Like you're thinking like they're like, you know, the same one too amongst them, but nah, they're all in that shit too. So, gay dude, none of us took it. We just, you know, enjoying drinks and all that shit. Dude came up to me and said, hey, what's up, man? I was like, hey, what's good? He pulled me, knowing his fucking boyfriend is that gay people have no fucking respect for their spouse. They don't. Gay men do not. They will fuck anything that move as if you like them or not. They will be quick to entertain anything that isn't a spouse. Because when you think about it, it doesn't really fucking make sense to be getting gay. Don't make sense to me. So. Because one thing about gay people, gay men, they're attractive to straight men more than they're attractive to gay men. Because the feminine energy is always going to be attracted to the masculine energy, regardless of what it is. But he saw I was a young dude, you know, looking good and all that shit. He's like, oh, he's a easy meat. And he's off the shit that we give him, knowing that's not my style. So like I said, knowing his boyfriend was partying in the goddamn garage, he pulled me next to the garage. He's like, hey man, come in, let me talk to you. He's like, I was like, oh, okay, like what's up? He's like, you know what this is. I was like, what the fuck you mean you know what this is? Like, then he pointed at his fucking, looking at his shit. I was like, it's like, you know what this is. I was like, what? It's like, give me some. I was like, yo, are you serious right now? I'm like, no, your boyfriend's right there. Like, nigga, I'm not gay. And I started laughing at him, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, and he goes back partying, but he felt embarrassed too because, like, I'm like, dude, like, this motherfucker was expecting me, knowing very well that I'm not gay at all, to get down on my fucking knees and give him fellatio. Doesn't even respect that I'm a man and all that shit. I'm like, dude, you really said, I felt insulted. I'm like, this motherfucker gotta be kidding me. Like, you got the fucking nerve. This is why I'm saying gay relationship is not, don't ever take that shit serious. These people will fuck anybody behind their spouse's back. And this motherfucker's really trying to have his way with me. I'm like, yo, and I told my whole family and all that shit. Later on, I think a day later or 2 days later, my aunt had her baby shower and I went in there. My dad told me like, yo, he got his ass whooped that night. So I'm guessing his boyfriend found out about that shit and whooped his ass. Because that was very irresponsible of him, knowing very well that, nigga, that is not me. But you thought I was high and drunk off the shit that you give me, which I don't know what type of shit was it, even that I was just gonna I wasn't cognizant enough to make the right decision and please this guy, knowing he was very, very inappropriate in front of everybody. Even his boyfriend wasn't. But he was very drunk, high, all that shit, doing all this extra shit. I'm like, yo, man, this motherfucker is crazy. And this is why it's so hard for me to have respect for the LGBT community, because they don't give a damn about anybody else but the damn self. And they do shit that provokes heterosexual and don't expect any clap back. Heterosexual people. That shit is ridiculous, man. And y'all can understand why people don't like y'all and why people don't want to be around y'all. Y'all think y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want and nobody shouldn't say nor do nothing about it. That's why I don't trust them. You don't trust them around you. Don't trust the kids around them or none of that shit. These motherfuckers are low-key quiet as hell. Pedophile in the flesh, man. Honestly. Are there some good one? Sure there is, but hey, low key they all have that little that pedophile mindset about them. That's when you look at it. Most gay men, they like younger dudes anyway. They don't like no old dudes. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's hard for me to trust LGBTQ people, man. They crazy as hell. They care about themselves, selfish as hell. They don't give a fuck about no kids or none of that shit. They can have a gay parade, flaunting dick on the forehead and fucking strap on and walking around. What type of liberation and gay rights move? What type of shit is that? That the fact that you gotta dress naked and do all this extra shit. It's the same thing with the women march and women movement, all that shit. Or free the nipples and all that shit. Okay, so fucking what? You dress like a whore anyways. Just call it a whore movement. But no, they got this whole bullshit that's going on too. And yo, that's crazy, man. Gay people, you gotta cut that shit out. You know? How the fuck y'all don't give a fuck about nobody and what anybody else don't give a fuck about anybody else but yourself. But y'all want people to accept you for what y'all are. That's the reason people don't have problem with y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's just how y'all conduct yourself is what people have problem with. Do that shit in your bedroom instead of coming out here and, doing all that extra shit. Anyways, it is what it is. I'm probably gonna get some backlash, but fuck it. Anyways, y'all need to get your shit right. Stop forcing people to accept y'all. Y'all look crazy as hell. Anyways, it's not a LGBTQ bashing video, you know what I'm saying? Just a LGBTQ bashing them with the truth video. That's what it is. But peace.